and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Character. My name is jordan-paige, and I am the show creator and host. If you like what you see here today, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications if you would like to know when we post. You can also follow us on Instagram at Breaking Character Show. I am so excited about the guest that we have today. Ashishs Thakur is an actor, drummer, musician, and filmmaker based out of Chicago, Illinois. He has a dying passion and immense love for acting and has set out to pursue his dreams in the industry. He is very dedicated to his craft by trying to create a consistent body of quality work. One of his recent films has just been accepted into 2 film festivals in New York. With that being said, Ashishs is eager to expand his acting career and fulfill his dream of one day walking the red carpet, holding the Golden Awards in his hands, and inspiring others. And without further ado, let's head to Zoom. All right, so here we are with Ashishs. So how are you doing today? What's been going on?
Yeah, I'm doing wonderful. Not too much. I actually had a call back this morning, so
Yay!
yeah. That's kind of an average day. You just have stuff to do, and I'm sure you have a lot to do every day.
Yeah, I mean, that is, I'd say any day that has a callback is a pretty awesome day. I'm actually filming an audition right after this. So,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, I've been looking at my lines all day and going, eek.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Just mildly stressful of, am I going to get this right? I don't know if I'm going to get this right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I am so excited that you're here, and just even more, because we worked together for the virtual table read, but so I got to see your audition and things like that, but I haven't actually been able to talk to you. And
Yeah.
so I'm really excited to get to know you a little bit more through this interview. So starting off. Okay, pause the video for a second. I am so sorry. This is not being filmed in the professional setup. I just moved, and I don't have my stuff on the wall just yet because half of my stuff is in here. Anyway, I am pausing this because I forgot to do 2 truths and a lie when Ashishs and I were doing the interview. Completely my bad. I apologize. But he filmed them separately, and I am guessing separately. So I'm putting those in the video now. So Ashishs is going to give his 2 truths and a lie.
I once took advice from the same man who gave Steve Jobs advice. I once got lost on a cruise ship, and I had to sleep in the cruise compartment overnight. And I got lost in a Gordon's, if you know what that is. And I had to spend like 6 hours until they could open it up.
So I guessed that the third one was the lie, but I was wrong. The lie is actually the second one. Ashishs has never gotten lost on a cruise ship, which I'm impressed because I've been on a cruise ship once and I definitely got lost. Okay, now back to the actual interview. I want to talk a little bit about how you're a musician and a drummer. I think that's so cool. My brother is a drummer, and so I just wanted to ask you, how did you get into music? What's the story behind that?
Okay, so for me, music has been like something since I was a kid. My parents always playing music in the house, exposing me to the drums at a very young age. And that just kind of flew, and I just took off with that, and I just started picking stuff up. And I never actually took my first lesson until 2 years ago. So I really just learned on my own. And then I took lessons because I started playing jazz in school. So, I just started taking lessons based on jazz fundamentals. But other than that, I kind of just on my own. And music is a pretty big part of my life. I've done music in school pretty much all my life. And I've been a percussionist. So any thing you can bang on, I'd be playing. And so, yeah, really it affects, I think music affects us as people, and it just evokes emotions that I can't describe, but when you hear it, it's something amazing.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. We kind of got into music a little bit. We definitely didn't have it like growing up a whole time because my mom, I didn't learn until only a few years ago that my mom was like, oh yeah, I was in chorus. And I'm like, you never told me this? Like, I never knew. So yeah, music, I completely agree. I think music is something so incredible. And I remember, when I saw on your profile and it was like drummer, and I was like, oh my gosh, ever since my brother started, it's drummer. Anytime I see the words drummer, I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
because I suck at the drums. I have no rhythm when it comes to that.
It's fun. It's fun to play. And if you learn like all styles, my personal favorite is jazz. That's just, I mean, I love jazz, but I love to play all styles, and I'll play all styles of music. So
That's
drums are,
awesome. That
yeah.
is so cool. Jazz is something, I think jazz is such a unique style of music. It's something so, I think it has such, part of what's so interesting about it is its roots and where it comes
Yeah.
from is
Yeah,
just
I,
fascinating.
I agree. And it's people say is dying, but I just feel like it's still there, and it's still prevalent. You just have to find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's awesome. I love jazz. It's a very expression type music. So
Yeah, absolutely. So now on to some filmmaking. So you've been filming during this pandemic, whether it be your own films or acting in some others. So what's that been like? I'm sure it's so different, but what has that been like?
yeah, you know what? Other than really just taking precautions, like extreme precautions, it hasn't been much different. It's really just been you just have to be a little more careful, a lot more careful, and take extra effort to make sure everything is safe. But other than that, I mean, productions have been going on. I think there was a time where it all shut down and like nobody could do anything. But as soon as it kind of started, which I mean, where I'm living, it's not that good. But it's like you just take precaution and you do what you can to be safe, and then you do what you love. If you stop that, it really hurts. So you just gotta keep trekking onwards. But just being really safe about it is super important.
That's so good to hear. I was really impressed when I started to see that, things were able to start going and they were like, okay, no, we can do this safely. We'll just
Yeah,
figure it out. And I think that's just been so impressive. And so I've loved seeing you post about what you've been able to do and,
yeah,
continue throughout it. So I think that's awesome. And it's good to know that it's not super different. You take the precautions, but then
yeah,
you can go from there.
yeah, exactly. So,
So, a little bit of a wild card question here, out of the box, but what is the most daring thing you've ever done?
oh man,
Or
okay, that's
I should say one of. One is one of
up.
the most daring things.
Okay, okay, okay. That's a really good question. Daring thing, daring thing. Oh man, I think one time, um, I don't know what it's called. It's really, really hot pepper,
Oh,
and my spice tolerance is pretty high, but this one was just a little too on the spicy side, and I think I ate it, and no,
not good.
not good. So I don't think I would do it again. Only for my
I I don't blame you. My spice tolerance is extremely low. I'm bad. It is
yeah,
not good. Like someone would be like, this isn't spicy at all. And I'd be like, no, 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 you don't understand my taste buds. Like they just know.
yeah,
So yeah, anything spicy pepper, absolutely not. So I give you credit for doing that.
it was hot. That's for sure. Spicy.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
So now we're going to play a game that I like to call memory association. And memory association, I have a random word generator pulled up on my phone,
Okay.
and I'm going to generate the random word, and we are both going to say the first memory that comes to our head that has to do with that word.
Okay.
Now, if we don't like the word or we want to change the word, we totally can. For example, last interview we got like the word real, and we were like, no, we can't come up with anything for that.
Yeah,
So,
okay. Yeah,
so
yeah.
all right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Our first word is pledge. Hmm.
Hmm. Do I have to just say the
If you
word?
if you want, if you're ready, then you can go.
Laser tag.
Laser tag.
Yeah. Do you want me to explain why, or is
Yeah,
it?
yeah. What is it? How
Yeah.
does that make you think of it?
Um, because when I went to this laser tag tournament, I'm not a laser tag person, but you had to pledge to like solemn, like, what is it called? What is it when you're like, you can't like, what is it called? Oh my God. When you have to be like true and like
Oh yeah, like honesty, and you
Yeah,
pledge
yeah, yeah, yeah,
to,
yeah.
yeah.
Pledge. You have to pledge to your side. And I just don't understand why it was such a big deal because it's laser tag. So
Yeah, that definitely sounds a little bit more serious than I
yeah,
think laser tag could be. That
100%.
Yeah, mine is I just remember so many times, I think it was mostly in middle school, like when the Pledge of Allegiance would come on over the loudspeaker, but a lot of times I would still be walking to class, so we would just all have to stop in the middle of the hallway and just be like,
Oh.
"Okay."
I know, like it's kind of crazy to think about that like you'd be like doing something and you just gotta like,
Just stop. Yeah.
just stop.
I haven't realized how strange that is until I've started realizing that other places don't do that.
Exactly.
And there's
Yeah.
people from other countries that are looking at it and they're like, "You say a pledge every day during school?" And I was like, "You don't?"
But, like when you think of it and at that age you're like, okay, this makes sense. Or like elementary school, like at least every you get up and now you're just like, wow, like that doesn't seem right.
Yeah. Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, it's very strange. Very
yeah.
strange. All right, so our second word is operation.
Operation. Huh. Okay, I got mine.
All right, go ahead.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So whenever I went to Chuck E. Cheese, which is still a fun place. I mean, I'd be down to go down with my friends, but that operation game, I'd always play it and I'd always lose, and it was really annoying because I just really wanted to win, and that's the memory. That's
I
all.
That game, my hands are so unsteady. I don't think I would ever have a chance of winning that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I think I would just get so frustrated. I would just no, not happening.
That's
For me, it's when I had my first surgery, which was when I was getting my wisdom teeth out. And I was so nervous for the anesthetic because I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, people have really weird reactions. I was completely fine, but I was so nervous about it. And I remember, of course, they put like the mask on you and whatever. And I swear it seemed like, and it's the hardest thing to describe, but it's almost like sound spun out. You know, when you see something like spin like this and then like
yeah.
disappear, that's how the sound was. And then, of course, like it felt like 2 seconds and then I was waking up after the surgery. But it was the weirdest thing.
That is really weird. That's really weird. The scariest thing about I haven't had my wisdom teeth pulled out yet, and I don't know if I will because like I feel like I've passed it and it's already like gone through its stages. The only thing I'm worried about, not the surgery, nothing, is after waking up and your parents are sitting there and you just all the bad things that you just come out, and I'm just so worried about that.
Yeah, I was concerned about that too. Thankfully, if it helps any, I was aware from the second I woke up. I didn't say anything or like I was completely conscious and I didn't like have any forgetfulness. So
Yeah.
because I was worried about that too.
No,
I do not like not remembering what I did or said.
yeah,
I
yeah,
despise that.
yeah,
So I was really relieved when I woke up and I was like, okay, I'm here. I'm here and I am thinking.
yeah,
Who? Yeah. Okay, so what I really loved about your submission to the show was that your response to the question, why would you like to be on the show? And you really talked about wanting to share your passion for what you do.
yeah.
And I think that's so important. And so I just wanted to share some of your experience with us. What is your idea of passion? Why do you think passion is so important?
Um, I think passion is the driving factor in what you do and what you love. I don't think you can say you want to love to do something without having passion. And to get, I think we're both kind of in the same industry, the film industry. To get to where you want to be in the film industry, you need passion. You need passion and even if you don't want to become famous, make it big, you need passion. Passion is the spark that ignites every film, every screen play, everything you write. There has to be some sort of passion, and without that, it's just very important to me. And why it is important because I've had this passion for a very long time. The problem is I never used my. It's like how do I explain it? It's like gunpowder, and it's just sitting there.
Mm.
that's the passion, right? You have the passion, it's just sitting there. And so I have this passion to be this actor and to do these things and be in films and make it to Hollywood. And I was just that sitting there. And one day, I don't know if you know Kaylee Johnson, but she's a very dear friend of mine, and my dad both like told me to like ignite that gunpowder. Like they were like, "What are you doing? Like you have all this here, but you're not actually using it." And it actually took a couple times for me to realize, wait, hold on, like what I have all this, I keep saying this stuff, but I don't actually do anything. So it took that, and that happened really recently, actually, this summer. So I really, it was June. That's when everything started. That's when I got my backstage account. That's when I got my headshots taken, and everything up till now is because of, well, those two people kind of kicking me in the butt and the built up passion. So that's why I think it's important, because like I feel like I've been saying things all my life, like, hey, I want to do this, but I've never done anything. And until you actually ignite that powder, you can't really get off the ground,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that that's such a good analogy of the gunpowder. I think that it's so true. If you just sit around and you wait and you're like, oh man, that would be cool. Well,
Yeah.
that would be cool. And then you're right. If it's that, well, wait a second, you can do something to make that happen. You can work towards it. So I think I think that's incredible. And I for one am very, very thankful that it hit you when it did, because when I saw your audition for the table read that we did, I seriously was like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's who I need for this role. And I was so relieved, because especially casting males for some reason is so hard.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but so I was so relieved and thankful when I saw your audition, and I was like, yep, there we go, perfect, got one roll down. And yeah, I so kind of piggybacking off of that question, why I know you're passionate about what you do, and what keeps you going though when things get difficult or when things get hard.
um I have a clear image in my mind of where I want to be. I know what I want to do, where I want to be, and I'll do. I know this sounds kind of like, um, I don't know what's the word, but like, I know where I want to be, and I know that I'll do anything to get there, and nothing will stop me. I have a very clear image. I think that's also important. You have to have an image of where you want to be. Um, and when things get difficult, when I get denied, I'm just like, okay, on to the next one. I mean, I apply to like 10 things a day. I don't care if they're not like in my range. I just apply, because you never know. You never know. And hi, Kat.
Like that. She's
Hi.
bound to interrupt at some point. So
Sure.
there we go. Please continue. I'm sorry.
No problem. So when things get hard, I'm just like, that's part of the process. I know where I want to be. I know, my goals, my visions, and that's just, you just got to stay humble. I think my friend Kaylee really, really, really reminds me of this, which I really thank her, is you have to stay humble. That's super important. And so you just have to stay grounded and know that one day you'll get there. So yeah, I think it's really about, it's all in the mind. You just gotta think you're gonna get there one day, and it's all part of the process.
I agree. I agree. Absolutely. If you got to believe in yourself, right? You got to don't have other people do it for you. You have to believe in yourself. And rejection is such a big part of the film industry in general. And
Yeah.
so that mentality of going, I'm a firm believer in what is for you is going to get to you if you work towards it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I think that's the mentality you've got to have, is saying, okay, well, I didn't get that. Well, I guess that was just made for someone else, but I know mine is out there and I know I'm going to get there. So
It builds a lot of character.
I
It
agree.
builds
Yes.
character, and it makes you tough. And if you can do that 100 times, if you can get rejected 100 times, oh, you can go through anything, man.
You can do anything.
Yeah. So
Definitely. So a little bit, so this is the last question. What advice would you give to those watching, whether it be career advice, life advice? What would you say?
I Advice, I would say, whatever you want to do, right? Whatever you put your mind to, whatever big goals, big dreams. I haven't achieved mine yet, but whatever you have in your mind, the end goal, never give up. And I know, as cliche as that sounds, it's so important that you never give up, because then there's no point. There's no point in having those dreams. There's no point in having those goals. What are they? They don't matter anymore. So never give up. It's commonly used, but it's so important that you keep going at it and never give up, because there'll be a point where you look back and you're like, man, I wish I kept going, or man, I wish I did that. I think you should live a life of fulfillment and happiness rather than regret and despair. So never give up, no matter how long it takes you, whatever you're doing, never give up, because you got this one opportunity to achieve your dreams. And if you don't do it, man, your dreams aren't dreams anymore, you know? So that would be my one thing that I hope to inspire people, not just now, but later on. So
That's solid advice. Absolutely. Never give up. And
yeah,
I love, especially you said, no matter how long it takes.
yeah,
If you think it should take a certain amount of time, but if it takes longer, if it takes less time, then okay, but to keep going.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. So first of all, I guess I should ask, where can people follow you? Where can they follow along with what you do?
You can follow me on Instagram at ashish.r.takur. And yeah, I mean, that's my main social media platform, and my backstage is on there and everything else. But that's where you can follow, and I try to post every day and keep people engaged. So that is where you can follow me.
Perfect. I will put that in the description of this video. So go click, people watching, go click on the link and follow Ashish. So thank you so much for being on the show. I am so honored that you said yes, and I'm so grateful that we got to do this.
Yeah,
I'm so excited for the future to see where you go, because I know it's going to be amazing.
thank you. Well, no, seriously, thank you for inviting me to talk, and that just itself means a lot. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm just speaking the truth here. So, all right. Well, I am about to press end on this. So we are going to hop back out of Zoom. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I really hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to keep up with what we post, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified when we post. If you would like to follow Ashish or I, all of our social media is in the description box below. And if you are interested in being on Breaking Character yourself, you can also find out how to do so by looking in the description. Next week's guest is going to be Angelo Dillon, who is an actor as well as a professional drone pilot. How cool is that? Thank you all so much again for watching, and we will see you next Tuesday.